Good morning and welcome to Sacred Enzyme. I'm Stacy, and thank you for stopping by here this morning to have a chat with me. And I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about the vagus nerve again. This will be part 2 of my vagus nerve analogy. And what I want to talk about with the vagus nerve is a little more on the subject of it really being possibly what they mean by the tree of life, or it is a sacred nerve. The vagus nerve, it connects all of your organs throughout your body, and it is completely activated by your sight, your hearing, your sensory areas of your body. And when you incur a physical trauma or abuse or any kind of trauma or of any kind of toxicity, drugs, alcohol, physical abuse, emotional abuse, any kind of thing like that can cause a reaction in the vagus nerve. And when you have a vagus nerve that is overstimulated, then it affects your energy centers. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on was how our vagus nerves and our chakra are combined and how they are together. And I have noticed from doing some research, more research on the vagus nerve, the system, the polyvagal system is so complex, and it's so much more complex than what we even realize. And I think that if we can look further into it, that we will realize that in the old times that they actually did understand this. And this is why there were so many things that were built into the architecture, that they were visually appealing, they were audibly appealing, that they were physically appealing because of the magnetic frequencies that were flowing in there, and then they were built on energy lines and energy portals. So I don't think this is any new concept that has come to us, but the one concept is, and this is what my own theory has come from the research that I've been doing about the vagus nerve, and that is that the diet also has an effect on it, because methylation that is not happening in the part of the stomach where the vagus nerve connects predominantly initially in the first part of the stomach. Methylation is not happening there, and so that's affecting the nerve. Now, I really feel like that situation right there, the stomach area, I think that it corresponds with the solar plexus, and as a result, that might be what the connection is with not receiving or not translating social cues. And that might also tie in with your Aspies and your people that have Alzheimer's, they have Asperger's syndrome, they have autism, and they don't recognize the social cues. I think that it has to do with the vagus nerve. I think that it has to do with H. pylori bacteria and the gut bacteria being out of balance, and that's being passed on to our children, because we have already learned, and it has been proven, that your RNA will modify your DNA into the next generation. So if you're expecting mother, or if you're planning on expecting, bringing a child into your family, I would highly suggest cleaning up your gut and modifying your diet. The food that we're eating right now is not nutritious. It's loaded with phosphorus, and our bodies cannot process this dense protein. We're suffering from inflammation, extremely high levels of magnetic radiation, all kinds of electromagnetic frequencies just being hammered on us. So our magnetic field is damaged. It's being damaged from trauma, and we're carrying generations and generations and generations of trauma that's being packed on top of us. That, if somebody has to clean up the mess. So if nobody ever takes the initiative to clean the mess up, then it's still got to be cleaned up. It doesn't go away. Just because you pretend it's not there doesn't mean that it goes away. It just it just stays there, stays dormant, or manifests itself. I mean, my suggestion is going to be for, you know, people that vagus nerve is out of tune. You know, there's exercises that you can do. Singing is really good for the vagus nerve because it works the voice box, and the vagal nerve system is basically in the shape of an upside down triangle. So as above, so below, right? So if your mental state is not quite where it should be and you live in a constant state of fear, then your reality is fear. Your body's adrenal system is basically in your root chakra at that point, because you are in your basic survival skills. So when you're in a state of fear or shame or something like that, you're stuck in your root chakra, and that is childhood trauma that has to be dealt with now. And I think that a lot of people that have traumatic childhood memories that they're carrying around, that they eat a lot of meat, they eat a lot of protein, and they crave heavy dense protein, and that's because your root chakra is out of balance. So I would consider a really good substitute to be beets, beetroots, apples, strawberries, all kinds of red vegetables and fruit, cranberry beans, red beans, all kind of red fruits and vegetables to get some good nutrition into that energy zone. And then work on some breathing. And the other thing is just acknowledging, hey, you know what? I'm aware that this happened to me. I'm aware that I've been through some stuff, but I am a spiritual being having a physical experience. We're all spiritual beings having a physical experience. So with that little bit that I've just talked about, the vagus nerve and its correlation to the chakras, you know, the correlation to trauma. We're walking around with so much trauma, and we've got to get re-immersed in nature, because looking at beautiful things that are green and colorful, they work on the heart, and they're visually appealing and they're auditorily appealing. So the vagus nerve is getting just a dose of electromagnetism from the earth that is healing, that's bringing your biorhythm back into tune. So my challenge to you today is to come outside and put your feet in the grass and breathe. Breathe so deep. Breathe deep. Walk around humming some tunes, some happy tunes, and stop listening to all of that low frequency music. That music, we got to go back to the classics, because I'm telling you what, the music nowadays is totally laced with low vibrational frequencies to bring your mood down, to bring your energy level down, to bring your vibration down. And so when you're listening to something an auditory thing like bird singing, your body has a much different response than if you're listening to, you know, like 808 beats that are low frequency. You've got double beats mixed in together that you're not hearing, but they're there, and they're lowering your frequency. So be mindful of your environment. Make it pleasing to look at. Make it pleasing to be in. And try to adjust your own energy. If you're not feeling like 100%, clean up your diet. Get some more fruits and vegetables in there and get outside. Get some sunshine. Put your feet in the grass and ground to the earth. Grounding is so good for you. And if you're in a lot of physical pain, you got to come outside and ground. And I know about physical pain. I'm just ate up with arthritis. And so, you know, mornings can be pretty rough for me, and afternoons too. So I spend a lot of time outside grounding. And I'm telling you, if I didn't spend time outdoors, I would be in really bad shape, probably. Really bad shape. A lot worse than I am. And you know, I'm getting better every day, and you are too. And we can keep getting better every day. We just got to keep finding out things. We got to keep discovering. But first we got to tweak our diet so we can get rid of all that inflammation in our brains. All that inflammation that's in our brains keeps us from being able to think right. And then all the toxic stuff that we're eating, you know, all that meat and all that dense protein and fat and white sugar and white flour and white pasta and all that stuff. That stuff is just a breeding ground for bad bacteria in your belly. And so when you're not eating the right things for your gut, that also affects your whole body too. Everything that goes in your mouth should be a conscious choice. Is it going to make me feel good, or is it going to make me feel bad? It might make your mind feel good because you're getting a little buzz off of it, but it doesn't make your body feel good. If you don't have energy after you eat your food, you're eating the wrong thing. You're eating the wrong thing. But we can do better. We can make better choices. We can try growing some of our own food so we're not so dependent. Getting independent and having an independent state of mind is the first step in complete freedom. And the vagus nerve is the tree of life. Because if we're not nurturing that vagus nerve, then we're out of tune. And the Holy Trinity is the body, the mind, and the spirit, all together in unison. And so, my challenge to go outside today and put your feet in the grass, set your intentions for today, listen to the birds, hum an amazing tune, stay happy, adopt a positive frame of mind, and set your intentions for today and say, today is going to be a beautiful day. And when you tune into my frequency, I'll be here, because we're all living in the present, in the past, and the future, all at the same time. So thanks for spending 12 minutes with me this morning. And thanks for stopping in and watching me on Sacred Enzyme. Nourish that sacred vagus nerve. Bye-bye.